I just bought this 230-year-old abandoned ryokan in Fukuoka, Japan. It's surrounded by a cascading river and densely forested mountains, and it's at the trailhead of this beautiful hike into the river gorge. There are also two Akiya on the property, as well as a waterfall, a bamboo forest, and a statue of my grandfather. I had no idea he was big in Japan. There's an ancient white dragon spirit in this old well. And there are so many more hidden treasures I've just started discovering. In this video, I'll share the location and layout of the property, the purchase process, including the costs, and a sneak peek at the renovation, which will be the focus of this channel. I'll also share with you the vision to turn this abandoned ryokan into a world-class retreat center, welcoming people from all over the globe. If you're interested in following along with the transformation, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell button, and please leave a comment. Let me know your amazing ideas, what you think of the project, and any way we can serve the people who come here even better. Now, let's go check out this one-of-a-kind property. We are in Japan, on the island of Kyushu, in the mountains of southwest Fukuoka City. With around 2.5 million people in the metro area, Fukuoka is the fifth largest in Japan. Although not many tourists make it this far west on their Japan trip, Fukuoka is amazing, and I love living here. Although this property is deep in nature, we're also a 30 to 40-minute drive to the airport, the bullet train station, and Tenjin, the commercial hub of the city. The property is easily accessible from a highway that runs from Fukuoka to Saga. After you cross this bridge and pass our parking lot, the road ends and hiking trail begins. So let's go over the layout of the property. The property is 3,500 square meters, bordered on all sides by mountain forests and the Muromi River. There are three main buildings, the Ryokan and also two Akiya built along the bamboo forest. The parking lot holds 26 cars, and it's the most convenient access point for hikers and families coming to spend the day on the trails or by the river. That makes this place a magnet for nature lovers. Other notable areas of the property are the waterfall, the outdoor baths, which are now totally overgrown, the koi pond, this well water system that somehow still works, a big doghouse, a koi tank where they raised koi to serve in the restaurant, and of course, the white dragon spirit well by the front entrance. What really makes this the ideal place to come for a retreat is the surrounding nature. Fresh mountain air, crystal clear water flowing all around, the sounds of the river, birds, and the cool breeze flowing in from the gorge. And oh yes, the ryokan at the center of it all. Let's go have a look inside. This place has so much potential, but so much work to get there. It was originally built in the 1790s. Then it was reconstructed over a reinforced concrete basement in 1992. Including the basement level, there are 3 floors, and a total of about 800 square meters of floor space. The entrance hall is in surprisingly great shape. There are these high ceilings with big lanterns. These historic wooden beams are just extraordinary, and you can't find them like this anymore. There's a restaurant that seats around 80 people with a massive and pretty neglected kitchen. This kitchen was fully functional up until the lockdowns, but I think this is one of the areas we need to gut down to the bones and rebuild from scratch. This dining area is just spectacular, a real highlight of the property. We have more of these gorgeous wooden supports, and other elements like the tatami and the shoji give it a serene and traditional Japanese feel. Having plenty of windows gives us great views of the surrounding nature, especially this panoramic view of the waterfall. We'll do our best to keep the historical feel and the great design elements intact, while making it more open and adding modern comforts for guests to sit, relax, and enjoy a cup of matcha. There's an inner garden, or nakaniwa, that has some drainage issues and could use some love and care. My favorite part of the whole place is this event hall that reminds me of the Miyagi family dojo in Karate Kid 2.
Welcome to Miyagi Family Dojo. You like?
This room doesn't really need a whole lot of work, but we're going to put in hydronic radiant floor heating for yoga and meditation sessions in winter. I can already clearly envision the amazing transformations that will happen here. When the renovation is complete, this building will have 6 guest rooms and 1 staff room. These are going to need a total overhaul to fit the vision. We're going to put a toilet and vanity area in each room and update every aspect of the room interior. Amazingly, the award for area that needs the most work is not the kitchen. That would be the basement. It has a bathhouse with 4 indoor and 2 outdoor baths, and unfortunately, a ton of mold. There's this old walk-in refrigerator that still has umeboshi, pickled plums, inside. I'm told these gain medicinal value with age, and they might actually be worth something. With a possible exception of the 2 smaller family baths, this basement needs to be gutted down to the concrete and totally rebuilt. This renovation will probably take about a year and have some real challenges. The first step will be to create space. That means clearing out the decades of clutter, outdated machines, and cleaning the dirt, grime, and other unknown substances. Moving these enormous commercial refrigerators and freezers from upstairs seems almost impossible, but they got them up here somehow, so we'll get them down. While we're clearing things out, we'll also be restoring the building's integrity. We'll need to restore and reinforce some structural elements, repair 3 roof leaks, install a new well water system, update the sewer system, put in new boilers, do a ton of electric and lighting work, mold and termite mitigation, and so much more. And all of that is before we can even get started putting in the new fixtures that are going to make this place an absolutely beautiful place to stay. I've truly stepped into a renovation junkie's dream. For about 10 years before buying this place, I had been leading retreats, yoga classes, free meditation workshops, and other events in the Fukuoka area. It's something I love to do, and I always knew it would eventually evolve into having a dedicated space. I had a long wish list for the property. It had to be an hour or less drive from my house, with direct river access, lots of beautiful big trees, nature trails, room to expand, and a peaceful energy that made it easy to drop into stillness when you arrive. I had been looking online at real estate listings a few times a week for years, and I had even gone out to visit a few places that didn't work out. In late 2024, I saw this property listed and I passed over it at least 10 times. It was listed as a restaurant, and that wasn't really what I wanted. One day I was in the area with my son, who had a practice session with a baseball coach. So after I dropped him off, I decided to go do the gorge hike. On the way to the hike, I saw the property, and I just knew right away that this is a really special place. I came back the very next day with my wife. Now, she's been with me through a few crazy projects already, and she's known for the last 10 years that my big dream is having a retreat center just like this. After doing the hike with me and peeking through the windows, she was all in. I sent a message to my former next-door neighbor, who just happens to be the greatest real estate agent in Japan. No kidding. I told him I wanted to see another property and that this time it was really serious. The asking price on the listing was 53 million yen, about 365,000 US dollars. After our first viewing, I told the seller on the spot that I was offering 36 million yen. He nodded and said that it sounded good. That same day, I submitted a written and stamped offer and then waited. Now, if you've ever waited for some result that you just knew was going to be life-changing, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Every day you don't get the answer seems like an eternity. And after I sent them the written offer, I waited a whole week before getting a response. And the response was rejection. They actually accepted a marginally lower offer from someone that the seller knew beforehand. That was super disappointing, but I accepted it and moved on. Deep down in my heart, knowing that this was not the end of the story. Sure enough, 2 months later, I get a call from Matsuda-san. The other buyer couldn't get approved for a mortgage, and he asked me if I was still interested. Right away, I just said same offer, and that time it was accepted the same day, and we started moving forward with the purchase process. So this was the third real estate purchase I've made in Japan. The first two were homes that I lived in, and each of the 3 times, the seller has insisted on getting a cash deposit. So I brought 3.6 million yen, that's about 25,000 US dollars, in cash in my backpack to this tiny real estate office. And me, the seller, and the real estate agents crowded around this tiny table, counting and counting and counting these piles of cash. Now, up until that point, the seller had been distant, cold, and even a little stern with me. But after that day when we counted the cash, he was all smiles every time, greeting me with a bow. And then this miracle happened that a month before the final closing, he gave me the keys to the property. And when he said he was giving me the keys, both real estate agents' jaws dropped to the floor. And his realtor kept saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that?" And he said, "The property is good as Roy's. He can have the keys and use it as if it's his." I was just stunned when that happened. Now, I won't go too deep into it in this video, but the most challenging part of the entire process was getting a corporate bank account and receiving an international wire transfer. So I'm from the US, and in the US, starting a corporation, getting a tax ID, opening the bank account, and sending a transfer, even if it's international, you can do all that online in a matter of hours. Here, it was this bureaucratic process that took months, even with the help of a lawyer. That's all I'm going to say about that process in this video, but if you're interested in learning more, let me know in the comments, and perhaps I'll make it a topic for a future video. In the end, the closing was a total success. Everything went great. I got to work with awesome realtors, diligent lawyers. I got to use my new corporate stamp on a ton of documents, which I trusted all of them to proofread for me. And I believe the seller genuinely became my friend. With all of the costs included, the 36 million for the purchase, about 1.2 million for the realtors, and the rest for stamps, taxes, and other fees, the total was almost exactly 38 million yen, which is about 255,000 US dollars. You've probably seen everywhere on the internet how you can get an Akiya, an abandoned house in the Japanese countryside, for really cheap or even for free. Now, in my experience, that is true, and those opportunities are available, and I checked a few out, but nothing came even close to fitting my vision for this retreat center. Like any big decision in life, My decision to go ahead and purchase this property is just the starting point. What makes any decision a good one is how you follow through afterwards. So my job now is to turn that situation into a great one for me, for my family, and miraculous for the thousands of people who are going to come here over the next years and decades to discover this place and experience the transformations here. This is going to be a multifunctional property centered on the theme of wellness and personal transformation. There's going to be a boutique hotel, a farm-to-table restaurant, and a wellness center open to the public. There's also going to be a cafe in the summer that serves shave ice to the kids playing in the river. The core offering here will be what happens in the dojo: classes, workshops, events, and of course multi-day retreats that will happen once or twice a month. The whole property will be available for groups to rent to hold private events and retreats. Renovation of this property is going to take around a year and cost more than the purchase price of the property. In fact, I think it's going to cost around double the purchase price of the property. We're going to open in phases, first the restaurant and the dojo, and then the guest rooms and the wellness center. So that's the journey I'm inviting you to join. In the next episode, I'll show you the Shinto ceremony. It's this essential blessing of the property that you can't start any construction without. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share this with anyone you know who might be interested, and let's transform this place together. Take care.